G'day everybody and welcome back into another video on the channel, and in today's video I'm be going through my 2025 AFL tips. Before we do get into the video, it'd be much appreciated if everybody does like up the video and subscribe to the channel. Enough wasting your time, let's just get straight into it. Now obviously let's review round 3. Alright, I actually got a perfect score this round, 8 out of 8. It would have been cool if it wasn't a bye round and I got 9 out of 9, but still I'll take it. I'm definitely taking a full round where I got everything right. So we'll start off with the Thursday night game. I did tip Essendon to get the job done, surprisingly, and I almost got the margin spot on. They won by 12 points. I predicted them to win by 12 points, but they did win by 14, so I almost got the margin spot on. Friday night, tipped the Doggies to get over Carlton. Yep, they just got over them. Tipped the Gold Coast Suns to beat Melbourne, and holy crap, they just beat them up. Didn't expect that. And then I tipped St Kilda to get a win over Richmond, which did happen. I tipped Hawthorn to get the win over GWS. Yeah, they're insane, the Hawks. I think at quarter time it was 37-2. They didn't even kick a goal. And they somehow come back and won by 8 points. So yeah, got that tip right. Then I tipped Brisbane to beat Geelong, got that right. Adelaide got a comfortable win over North by about 40 points. Then I tipped Fremantle to get the job done over the West Coast Eagles, in which they did by 38 points. So all in all, I did get a total of 8 out of 8 tips. I'm pretty happy with myself there, because not many people would have tipped Essendon. That would have been the game that out of all the games people would have gotten wrong. But yeah, I'm pretty happy with that. 8 out of 8. You can't not be happy with that. And yeah, we'll just get into the actual tips. Alrighty, first up we have the Thursday night game, and we have Collingwood taking on Carlton. Now this will be hopefully a good game. I am hoping it to be a good game. I really don't want it to be a blowout like Collingwood just absolutely dominate. But by the looks of it, that's what's going to happen, because Carlton aren't looking in the greatest form. Obviously lost 3 on the trot now. But Collingwood did lose to the Bulldogs last week, which I didn't actually expect to happen, even though I did tip the Bulldogs. I don't know why I tipped the Bulldogs, actually. But, yeah, I did get that tip right. So they're both coming off losses. But let's be real, I really do think Collingwood should get the job done by a fairly big margin. I'm going to say they get the job done by 29 points. Now we move on to the Friday night game. We head down to Geelong. We have the Catters taking on the D's. Yeah, it's at Geelong. Geelong are looking all right. I think they were a bit overhyped coming into this year, but nonetheless, they're still looking like a good team. And the D's, well, they're in shambles. Second bottom on the ladder. Yeah, they're just not looking too great this year. Obviously getting absolutely pelted by the Suns last week at home, which was quite disappointing. But yeah, the odds for this game are heavily favouring Geelong. 98% Geelong to win, 2% for Melbourne to win. So yeah, with all that said, I'm going to go ahead and tip Geelong to get the job done fairly comfortably by 35 points. Now we move on to the Saturday games, and we have the Gold Coast Suns up at their home turf taking on the red-hot Adelaide Crows. These are two of arguably one of the... These are some of the best teams in the comp at the moment. Yeah, they're looking... Both the teams are looking absolutely phenomenal. The Crows are 100% flag contenders this year. I reckon they're definitely flag contenders this year, the Crows, if they keep playing the way that they're playing. And I really do think that the Suns are finals contenders this year. I reckon they will finish inside the 8 this year for the first time in their history. But the Suns at home... I don't think I can tip against them. I don't think you are actually tipping against the Suns at home this year. You wouldn't think. So I'm going to go the Suns to get it done. Very tight margin. But I'm going to back them in to get it done by just 5 points. Alrighty, now we move on to the second Saturday game, where we have Richmond taking on Brisbane. Yeah, this game is heavily favouring Brisbane to get the job done. It's 98% Brisbane to win it versus 2% Richmond. Richmond are obviously not looking too great. Besides round 1, where they surprisingly beat Carlton, yeah, they're not looking too great at all the past 2 rounds. And Brisbane, they're looking all right. Obviously defeating the Cats up at the Gabba last weekend, which is... They're a good team, the Cats, but at the Gabba, I don't think they were really going to win that, in my opinion. So, yeah, I really thought that Brisbane had that in the bag the whole game. However, this is at the G, and I'm not actually too sure how good the Lions play at the G. But it's Richmond, and I'm just going to go safe. So I'm going to tip Brisbane to get the job done, just because it's Richmond and I want to go safe. So I'm going to tip the Lions to get the job done by 32 points. Alright, on to the third Saturday game of the round. 10th versus 11th, actually, at Marvel. 10th North Melbourne, 11th Swans. Yeah, this could actually be a really, really good game, I reckon. This is going to be really, really close. And I could honestly go the upset in North here. I don't know if you'd call it an upset, because they are above Sydney on the ladder, and it is at their home ground. But percentage-wise, 80% are tipping Sydney and 20% are tipping North Melbourne. And I've actually gone with North Melbourne here. I think if they're going to upset a team, it'll be Sydney at the moment, because they're just not looking as sharp as I thought that they were going to look this year. So, yeah, I'm gonna go North Melbourne to get the job done. Very, very tight game, though. Very tight. I'm going to say they get the job done by 7 points. Now on to the Sunday games, and our first game, we have GWS taking on West Coast at NG Stadium. There's not much to say about this game. West Coast, bottom of the ladder, looking not that great, coming off a 38-point defeat to Freo in the Western Derby. And then obviously the week before that, they actually almost beat Brisbane at home, which was kind of impressive, I'm not going to lie. But nonetheless, West Coast are the worst team in the comp by far, in my opinion. And the Giants are easily one of the best teams in the comp. Obviously, they did lose to the Hawks last week, but that's the Hawks. They're literally the premiership favourites at the moment. Easily the best team in the comp, the Hawks are, so you can't really blame the Giants losing to them, especially down in UTAS, where the Hawks actually play surprisingly pretty well. Nonetheless, I'm going to go GWS to get the job done by 44 points at their home turf. Won't be a complete smashing or anything like that, but they will get the job done very comfortably by 44 points. Now we go on to the second last game of the round at the Adelaide Oval. Port are taking on St Kilda, who actually played in Adelaide 2 weeks ago. Power aren't looking the greatest, but they're obviously not looking too bad at the same time. They're a bit of a mediocre side at the moment, obviously in that middle part of the ladder being 12th. Coming off a loss to Essendon, which they probably should have won, honestly, in my opinion, even though I did tip Essendon. And the Saints, there's not much to say about them. They're just a good side. But yeah, I think they're going to head back up to Adelaide, and they are going to give the Power a bit of a reality check and beat them by 59 points. Alright, final game of the round at Optus. We have Freo taking on the Western Bulldogs. Freo obviously getting themselves on the board last week, winning Derby 60 against West Coast by 38 points. And West Coast, they're obviously the worst team in the comp at the moment, so it's nothing to really brag about, really. But they did get a win, and that's all that really matters. And then obviously the Bulldogs coming off a 8-point win to the Blues, who are not in the best form. But yeah, they're actually not looking too bad, the Bulldogs, this year. I thought they were going to finish maybe even bottom 4. I didn't really think they finished bottom 4 this year, but I definitely didn't think that they'd make the top 8. But at the moment, they're looking like they're going to make the top 6. They're not really that bad of a team, to be honest. But Freo, they're going to be hungry for some more wins at their home turf. Freo fans will get them up and about, and they're going to get the job done by 13 points. I hope everybody did go on to enjoy today's video. If you did, remember to leave a like on the video and subscribe to the channel, as it'd be much appreciated, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.